Welcome to another thrilling episode of the Squash Podcast with B and B. Not Mabel Benita today, but B and B. The name is changed for just only today.
Not just today, guys.
Ah.
Anyways, this is these 2 cents, Benita, and you don't need to know my mama's name. This is my mama. For those of you saying my auntie, my sister, no, guys, she is my mother.
Her auntie.
You wish.
Oh my goodness.
Guys, guys, without further ado, we are going to be diving into today's topic. Today is drums rolling, drums rolling. Okay, so today I am going to be asking my lovely mom here about some things that happened during our childhood. 5 things parents never told us. Just five. I know there are a lot of things, a lot of lies we were told, a lot of things that we didn't find out
Objection.
till when we were.
Objection.
It's okay. I will give you the stage to debunk answer, but you are going to explain yourself. You are talking on behalf of every African parent here right now.
African parents. I like that.
African parents. So first question is, I don't know if you guys this happened in your house, but in my house it happened quite a lot because we used to go to my grandparents' place and we met with my aunts, my uncles, and mothers will always be like, "Don't take anything from that auntie. Don't take this from this uncle. Don't take this. They are witches." And I'm like, so I grew up. Whenever I see that aunt or I see that uncle, I'm like, my mother said, my mom said, "I wish." My mom said, "I wish." So now whenever I'm doing
I
something,
know what you're talking about.
whenever I'm doing something, I end up like I will not eat. Basically, I grew up with the mindset that 70% of the world's population are witches. Mommy will tell you in school if you are giving anything, don't eat it. Bring it back home, even if we're doing.
Africa. Come on.
Okay, please justification, explanation. Why?
Africa. Well, don't quote me, okay? Don't quote me. Well,
Mm-hmm.
uncles and aunts,
Mm.
of course, we're not witches.
But
But, you know, when you're growing up and they tell your aunties and uncles are witches, don't take anything from them, that is just trying to let you know that don't take what does not belong to you. When you don't ask your parents for permission, don't take from them.
and it's always from the father's side, guys.
I am the mother, so it's always supposed to be from the father's side. Your father has told you not to take from your mother's side, then your mother's side will be called witches. I am the mother, so it always has to be from the father's side that they are, in quote, you know,
You know.
but they are not witches, you know. But they are witches in the sense that don't touch my baby, don't give my daughter what you shouldn't be giving her. Mind your business. Simple. Second question.
Okay, that's for question one. Two, I grew up in a very, very strict home. My mother was a disciplinarian. My dad, God bless him, each and every day. You will not beat his child in his very presence.
That's what
You
talk
will
about.
not shout. I found out wonderful.
I had
Wonderful. Please, see the way she was supposed to, it is child. Everybody listening to me right now will agree that we were abused as children.
This is African. In an African home. Take the Africans in the US. The kids 10, 5, calling the police for their parents. Oh, try that in an African home. Your behind will tell you what you're saying. This is Africa, baby. What do you mean?
But don't you think it was too much? I remember, guys, I am not lying about this. I remember a time when my mother threw pot. She used pot to stone my forehead. She beats me with, pole for cotton. I was beaten with pole. I was beaten with a stick. I was beaten with. I knelt down and carried grinding stone.
And yet she's here.
Like the amount
And
of
yet she's not dead. Yet she's here. Look at her. It's the squad podcast with Mabel. Yes, she's here.
I am traumatized.
How come? How come? And yet she's here, entertaining you guys every day, let's say twice a week. She's here. She turned out okay. She turned out marvelous. Imagine if there was no home training. Imagine.
That is, see, there are.
Imagine those girls you see on the street, in quotes, those girls, without home training.
But don't you think there could have been a softer approach than than being abused and vandalized and emotionally tormented.
Just a couple of years back, the word abuse started trending. It was called discipline. I was disciplining my child. I'm sure all of you agree it's called discipline. When you go to school, you misbehave in school, they tell you to bring canes to the school those days. And the canes are kept in the office. You do anyhow, you see anyhow with the cane. It's called discipline. She turned out okay.
But why, guys, I've said it on the show, right, that I have a younger sister. My question, what pains me? It pains me till tomorrow. You see all these details I just told you guys about of how I was beaten and abused and traumatized as a kid. I can say my sister did not go through like even of what I went through. I was, in an African home, it's not just your parents that are your parents. You have the aunties, you have the uncles, you have the grand aunties, the grand uncles, your cousins, your nieces, your nephews. All of them will partake in the training and disciplining of the child. And this was my case. There were a lot of people there to discipline me. And now, when it comes to my sister, I could not even look at my mother in the mirror because this woman was a different person entirely.
We have evolved. We move, we grow with the time.
Why did you grow with my time?
21st century, then of the 15th century. This is the 21st century. These times, mental health matters. Yes. She's all about mental health, mental health. Of course, I want my daughter's mental health to matter. Since it did not matter then, at least I should learn. And then now, my other daughter, of course, she won't be beaten. Why? I can speak to her. Let her understand what she's doing wrong. Don't pick that up, baby. Sit down. No. Don't do that. But we had just never give back. That's both that. Then, we've evolved with the times.
Guys, I can say what I went through, I didn't deserve it.
I wish you knew.
What you see?
I wish you knew.
Wait.
I wish.
Is this part from mother to mother?
Oh, yes. I wish you knew what I went through. I wish she knew what her other mothers went through. And then I wish she knew what her grandmother went through. I will tell you what her grandmother went through. Just one. When she was in her husband's house, married with kids already, when she offended her husband, my father, you know what happened? He will go to her mother's house and report to the mother. The mother will come to her matrimonial house, tie up my mom, and beat her nicely. That was what she went through. So imagine what I went through with that kind of a mother. I think I still have some scars to show you people, but no need. So she should be lucky. She only went through maybe 1% of what I went through. There was nothing. The elastic was just used to wipe her body. Nothing like that. The pot was just out of anger. Maybe she was being a saucy, rude. Those kind of answers. You say, Benita, And then earpiece in her ear. When you take the pot and you target her head, she dodged. But then she'll come back to her senses. But we've changed. Believe me, you have changed for the better. 21st century, mental health matters. Even my own mental health right now matters. That wants to frustrate me. Every child that wants to frustrate me, forget it. I just sit and bash with my 2 legs. That's why officially I'm nobody's mama. I'm everybody's sister. Sister. I'm nobody's mama anymore. My mental health matters.
But I would say in the long run, if I am being honest, in as much as the beating was excessive, it wasn't right. It was overdone, overdid, yes. But it did in a way mold me into the woman I am today. Why do I say this? I see a lot of kids today that have, now we say we can talk to a child and the child is supposed to listen and take corrections, but the African in us is like, you see this paragraph that I'm telling you, with just one slap or just one slippers or just with the mere lifting of the cane, the fear of God will be instilled into you and you will not be acting like that. And when you see them misbehaving in the street, be like, they did not beat you at home, that's why. And there are a lot of kids in the streets today. I think a friend of mine posted it on her status, and she was talking about how ill mannered children of this generations are because they weren't beaten as a child. The Bible said, "Spare the rod and you spoil the child, but in moderation, please, in moderation." Not the way I was. Oh my god. Anyways, anyways,
You're also very moderate.
it wasn't. It wasn't when you fling like this, and before you even land into the one, they hold you. It's like, what?
That is Chinese. We are not Chinese. That's why we shouldn't practice.
If I tell mom, see now the things like what led to it, she cannot remember anything. But those, it's there, it's stapled, tattooed to my brain.
Well. That's life. If you turn out okay, I turned out okay. Oh God, I turned out okay. What I went through and what I went through. Of course, I didn't want her to go through what I went through, so I brought it down quite a lot.
My kids will not go through what I went through.
Obviously,
Nah.
see, that's what we call evolving. 21st century. Am I correct or not? I've evolved with Fiona. She's going to evolve with her own kids. In short, she's not even going to touch them at all.
I go beat you.
She's going to let them take all the chocolates, put the milk down, go out in the morning, come back at night.
Definitely, no. See, you will have.
She's going to give it to them.
You will have that freedom, but you know the family you're coming from.
Oh, really?
You know.
Okay.
Okay, third question.
Now people understand what I mean.
Third
It's in the blood. Third question.
Third question. Why was I not allowed to have friends growing up? Like, guys, it's my classmates cannot come to the house, church members cannot come to the house. My mother will legit tell me, if I see any of your friends come here, we beat them with hot water. I'm like, why? Parties. The school would organize school calm down. School would organize like excursions or those things. And mom says like, if at all I am allowed to go, the bus is leaving this time, the bus will arrive this time, and you have 10 to 15 minutes to move from there to the house. And if you're 5 minutes late, this like for other homes are not like that. Why is my home different? And it'd be like Independence Day, children are going out with their friends, Independence or where Christmas, for the Christmas, and I'm like, if my father doesn't carry me anywhere, I'm not going anywhere.
You yourself. If your father taking you anywhere, you're not going anywhere. For goodness sake, we are Africans. And though, you need to keep your children safe. Okay, you need to keep your children safe. People can easily corrupt your children. Friends in church, friends in school, friends whatever. But still, she still had the time to make friends, so sneaking behind everywhere and making friends.
What you do not allow
you now
the way.
allow her to even bring the friends. So when they come home and you see the riffraffs, the ones looking like what you call them, and the ones looking like, in short, they're in the streets. The only thing they'll say is, "Good morning, my pretending." I can see it in their eyes. I have that X-ray vision. Forget it. I can see all of them. So it's not allowed. No friends. No, until she's 18. Huh? I told you when you're 18, you can have friends. But they need to come to the house.
That is calm. That word, Mama, that word.
To see them.
Because
I need to know what they are doing. No. I need to know what they are doing. Yes. 18. I don't think 18 is too much for you to get to 18 and then you can make friends. You cannot bring them, because I know even when I say don't make friends, don't have friends, you will go behind me and make friends because I did the same thing. It's normal.
Which brings
normal.
me to number 4 question. Why is it that everything in an African home it begins when you are 18? You can bring friends when you are 18. You can start going out when you are 18. But that is a lie.
What age are you an adult?
No, Mama, yes, 18. But guys, I know I'm not the only person on this table. When I did clock 18,
What happened?
And I wanted to go out. And my mother asked
Did you
me,
think you were going to?
where are you going to? It's not that I say, there was no difference, guys.
Did you think you were going to? No.
Even
The
you're going
only
out.
time she will be free is only when they marry her into her husband's house.
Exactly. That was the statement I was still hearing at 20.
No. Do you want to get spoiled? Do you want to be corrupt? Don't you want your husband to come and take you and say, this is a good girl? So you want us to leave you and go inside the street? Lie, will kill you there. Forget it. She's not going to any street though. She's staying there. Until when the husband come and take her from there. Then hands off. And even at that, we still be watching her in the husband's house. Because children of these days, you never can tell. 18. We gave her a little bit of rope. Just a little. Feel free to go out with your friends or come back on time. And just make sure you give me the location, the friend's name. If you are going to be 4 friends, the friend's full name, their father's name, their phone number, the location. If you are going to 4 places, I need the 4 location. I need everybody's phone number. Anything can happen, my brothers and sisters in the Lord. You have to be prepared. I'm giving you that advice now in case you don't know it. Collect location, phone number. You should make sure if you see Chima, Okerekwe, Benita, Daniel Okere, Sarah, all their surname, get it. Get in short, if they can do you videos, my dear, get everything you have to protect your NASDAQ number. This is the NASDAQ number I have, number 1, and you say I shouldn't protect, forget it. No matter what you say, you're not going to win.
And I wonder if I am the first NASDAQ number to be ever created. Because other parents are not acting.
Well, I don't care about other parents. Every parent has the right to bring up their kids the way they want to.
And guys,
we didn't get pregnant at the same time from the same man. So they have the right to bring up their kids the way they want to. If they want to give them chocolates, iPhone 20, iPhone 30, and 83, that is their problem. That is their problem.
And you know, when I finished service, Momsi was like, okay, Momsi was used to using not in my husband's house. Not in my husband's house. You can do it when you're in your husband's house. And I said, you know what? I was like, you can move out if you want. You can move out if you want. And I'm like, okay. I finished service. I started working, and I'm like, I want to move out.
She was saying that her legs are not broken. Her legs are not broken.
I was 20 or 21. I was like, you're not leaving this house till your husband comes and get married to you. And then that's the only, and I'm like, hey, now come and do.
You can't anything wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't forget, we are Africans, eh? We are not whites. We are Africans. In an African home, you say your parents house until you get married. They come and marry you from there, 3 or 4. In the 21st century now, yes, we can move out, rent apartments, and you're only renting apartments because maybe where you work is far from your father's house or you're in another state. But as far as you're in the same state, mother can stay in that house. Even the boy will stay there unless he's working. We are Africans. This is how we were brought up, and this is how we will be till tomorrow. Forget it. There's no work there. People can walk everywhere else. So walk everywhere else. But you see, that's why I stay in that house. Go nowhere.
This brings me to my 5th and final question, which I saved the best for last.
Very good. Hit me.
Okay. In the African home, I know it definitely happened in my house. I don't know if it happened in yours, but I can say 80% of the African homes, this happened. We weren't taught anything about, I know I wasn't taught anything about sex education from the house. Even the whole period, menstruation, ovulation, that was taught in home economics, secondary school, and then you're asking questions with no answer, and they're not born you where to come and ask your mother what question.
How old is school? Imagine you have a health science teacher in school. If I can remember properly, and then you have biology. You have health science, what class? DGS1 in primary school, you have health science. I'm correct. In secondary school, you have biology. What are they collecting school fees for? Your teachers are there. They will teach you. And the ones they don't teach you, the ones you go and hear with that boy and girl, plain boy and girl, doctor, you not come and ask your mother some question. What do you want to know about it?
What do you want to know about it?
What do you want to know about it? You are being taught about it in school. So why do you want to know about it? Very simple. Why are you curious? If you are curious, want to know about that, means something is in your mind. You've been thinking of something.
It's not about thinking
You've
of
been
something.
thinking
See,
of something.
you're taught something in school, and you want to know.
You know what?
If we don't know, there is another problem. You're
see,
going to
see,
try and come out
they
as Gen
lie.
Z.
They lie.
You
Ask question to your teacher. I need to ask your teacher that question. Why are you coming to ask your mother that question? After all, then don't say that. I say, mommy, daddy, baby's made. He say, you look at the father will look at you. Say, you know, in the morning when you wake up, you just come and see your mommy. You see one baby there. The baby is like, how did the baby came? It came out from the bottle. It came out from the bottle. So what kind of question do you want to ask your mother, your father of the previous century? If it's this day and age now, ask me that question. I'm pretty sure if you're not asking that question, forget it. I would answer her very well, comfortably well.
So, well, see, the thing is, in my journey, what my mother refused to tell me, I would take the information from outside.
Yeah, I think you took it now.
I did take the information. That's how I learned. I took the information from outside. Because my mother wasn't open to have the conversation with me.
You took it.
So me and my friends, we came and we discussed.
But
You give me your information, I give you my information, we join our knowledge together.
you see why we're prohibiting friends. Friends. You see why friends are prohibited. You see. Corrupting your NAFDAC numbers. Please, prohibit those friends. Prohibit those friends from coming close.
But do you have any, is that something you would have done different given the knowledge and the exposure you have today?
Okay, let's see. All jokes aside, okay? Truthfully, as Africans and as African parents, okay, we tend to shy away from some certain talks, in quotes, okay? Especially when you have the kids that are girls, which can be very harmful to your children going forward. Yeah, like you said, topic of sex, whatever, everything that has to do with the woman's body. Yes, as African parents, most of us shy away from that topic. The ones that don't shy away from those topics are the ones that are enlightened. Okay, enlightened in the sense that not just educated, not educated, enlightened in the sense that they've actually gotten to a stage in life to see that it's not a big deal. The earlier you talk to your kids about it, you're actually trying to safeguard them. You're not protecting them by leaving them ignorant. You're throwing them under the bus because, like she said, she went outside and spoke to her friends, whatever. She can be easily misled that way, or she could be easily misled that way. You understand? So what I'll definitely do, okay, which I know myself, definitely, okay, talk to your kids. What I would advise, recommend, talk. We all learn from mistakes, okay? We all learn from our mistakes. So talk to your kids, especially when you have girl kids, the ladies, the mothers. Talk to your kids. You see them start growing the little donuts in the front, not even donuts, a little line. Before it becomes a donut, it's line. They start growing, Speak to them, sit them down, talk to them. And I'm very happy today. When you listen to the news, when you listen to some things on Instagram, you read some, blogs, you see some women, some mothers actually are educating their daughters. It's not as it were
Back
10
then.
years, 20 years back. Everybody slowly waking up to, getting that talk out there. Getting that talk out there because it protects your daughters. You can't be with them 24/7. So no matter how small they are, as far as they start to understand some certain things, you tell them a little bit. As they grow up, you give them more. You don't bombard them with what they're not supposed to know at that certain age. You watch them grow up and then you give them little by little. If she comes home from school and she asks you, Mommy, what's the meaning of kiss? You need to explain. Mommy, what's the meaning of this? If it's a word she says that for her age she's not supposed to know it, pick up the phone and call up the teacher. Where did my daughter learn this word? Is this what you people are teaching in school? If the teacher says yes, let her explain. If the teacher says no, maybe she heard it from another child, what she's not supposed to hear, then you nip it in the bud. Okay, so what I'll definitely say for this, for our African parents and quotes, don't shy away from explaining things to your kids. Don't say, come and go inside there. What do you want to know? You're spoiled. As my mother used to say, then I share. Don't do that. Don't belittle your kids. Don't use words you are not supposed to use. Especially when they are curious. They want to learn. If you get to a stage, they will no longer ask you those kind of things. They'll go fish for it outside. And when they fish for it outside, then they get into trouble, and then things happen, and then you come back home, and then you start crying. This. What do they call that? distilled milk. Tears after what do they call that? Whatever. But you guys, you know what I mean, anyways. Okay, so basically, talk to your kids, and not only the girls, huh? The guys also, because in this world today, we feel the guys are way up here, the girls are way down here. But for goodness sake, studies have proven that the ladies are very fast, catching up right now with the guys, catching up with the guys. So talk to your guys, your male children, teach them how to, how to treat ladies, how to take care of their bodies as men, everything, just basically talk to your kids. That's on a serious note. Talk to your kids. Okay?
Talk to your kids, guys. And kids, anyways, I think it depends on the parent you have. If your parents gives you that freedom, that room, creates that room where you can speak freely, and then of course we would just. I love the relationship my mom and I have today. It wasn't always that way, but as as time went on, and we became more exposed, and we started having conversations, and I had some questions which she was
I answered, do I answer? You don't mind this girl. Trying to say I'm not answering that question. I'm answering that
back then it not deep.
Back then when? How many years back? Please.
Guys, that is all the time we have for today. Parents, talk to your kids, reconfirm every conversation or every information you hear from outside.
Don't go and do it too no, because they'll beat you. Forget it, we're Africans last. Do anyhow you see anyhow.
Yeah, don't forget. And do not spoil your kids, guys. Do not spoil your kids. Discipline your children, because there are some kids that I see outside and be like, I was if I beat you. But then I'll be like, yeah, you're not my kid. So if I was in my country, in Nigeria, every child you see is your child. You have license to beat anybody you see misbehaving. But it's outside. But this is not our country, so we can only pray and hope that you receive sense someday, hopefully, sooner rather than later. That is all we have for today. You are listening to Beast 2 Cents, my mom and I. Guys, we love you. Remember, your mental health is a priority. Do not forget to follow me on Facebook, The Squash Podcast, on Instagram, The Squash Podcast, my personal handle, B3N1Licious. On Spotify, there is a section where you can tell me what you did think about the episode. Please write a comment if you want to be on the show. Do let me know if there is something you have in mind that you would like me to talk about, or you would like me and my mom to talk about. Do let me know. We are open to hear your suggestions, and we love you.
Bye.